Chapter 10. Left to Hang. Ho ho, you really are a true smith. Forrest pats my back. I'm proud of you, lad. Forrest and I are in the cottage. He's showing me how to put a twist into something. I just did my first one. It's very simple. When the metal's hot enough, you clamp it in place, then rotate from the top. When you spin it, it creates a spiraling effect in the metal. I'm glad to have you around, Smith. I wake up, still surrounded by clay. It wasn't a dream after all. I sit myself up and look around. I'm still atop a wooden bed. The walls are all beige, but every other thing in here is vividly colorful. The rugs are beautiful patterns. The chairs are lined in gold, and there are gemstones and everything possible. I wonder if this is Shaka's home. There are miniature paintings of horseback warriors wielding talwans and other curved swords, along with countless pieces portraying beautiful naturalism of plants, animals, and shaded walkways covering the walls. One even has a woman charging into battle. I've never seen anything like this. I continue surveying the room. The energy radiating off of everything in here is strong. Every object seems to hold an aura of its own, yet they all merge together to create a wholesome feeling throughout the room. I can tell whoever made the furnishings in here takes a lot of pride in what they do. It's similar to the feeling coming off of Voris while he works, but with a touch more of elegance. Comparing the decorations in here makes Voris's cottage seem dull and empty, although there isn't a workshop in this building. Do you? He knows. Doesn't seem. There's a voice outside the door. I can't make out what they're saying. No. He lacks. Unaware. That sounds like Dharma. I'm only hearing a few words of what he's saying. His voice is too soft to travel through a wall. Suppose... Right. The voices disappear. I wonder what they were talking about. Could it have been about me? They seem strangely taken with me, like I'm a fascinating new specimen they've come across. It makes me a little uneasy when they're both talking at me. How long was I asleep? What's taking this Hanji person so much time to return with Voris and Valoria? How far did the river take me downstream? I guess there isn't much I can do other than wait right now. I look back to the enchanting paintings telling a story of battle, love, loss, and tranquility sprawled before me. I see an unflinching man wearing a magnificent piece of yellow clothing, holding a falcon in his guarded hand. The detail is unbelievable for its size. The painting is no longer than my hand, yet contains intricate line work, from the bird's individual feathers to the man's wispy hair and toned skin. The yellow article of clothing he wears is designed with various animals like birds, geese, and lions hunting gazelle, spanning his entire body. He appears to be calming the falcon, who has its wings sprawled and claws sharp and curled. The longer I stare, the more I notice within. It's such a fine piece of work. Next, I look at a cluster of men atop a hill-covered green land. There's a village in the background along with a few trees, but it's mostly different arches of green with men and animals on the different levels of hilltops. There are collared cheetahs attacking deer with men behind them motioning at the large cats to kill. As the hills descend, they lead to a man riding an elephant, speaking with a group of people holding a rhinoceros from charging. They use very earthy tones throughout the entire painting, dark greens, bright yellows, murky reds, and rich oranges. I wonder who painted these and how long they took to make. It must take a delicate spirit to patiently stroke with a brush made of only a single hair to acquire such minuscule lines. My eyes fall on a woman wearing a red dress and a golden tiara, riding a horse. She has a bright blue gemstone on her forehead. There is an army of men surrounding her. She wields a blade and has a fierce look in her eyes. Her glare is similar to the lion hunting in the other painting. Behind her, a man appears to be defending the woman. Alas, a sword is piercing out through his back in a miraculous shower of blood. The sand is stained red. Ah, a voice startles me. I see you're enjoying some of my brother's handiwork. I turn to see Ashaka smiling brightly. When did he get there? Hanji truly has a beautiful soul. His inner vision astounds me. He steps closer. I see Arushi has caught your eye. Ashaka now stands next to the bed looking at the woman warrior. Hanji told me of her tale. Quite tragic. He purses his lips. He's rather intrigued with past culture. Hanji has studied them since I can remember. This happened to be an original piece that he painted based around a group called... I can't seem to remember their name, though I remember her story. Care to hear? I nod while staring into the colors. I believe this group were strong warriors who cherished the arts almost as much as we do now. They painted in unique styles depicting battles defending their lands from invaders. They held their artists to the same renown as their warriors in a world stripped of culture. Not only were they accepting of many art forms, but also saw women as their equals. They were trained for war and are remembered for their courage and loyalty in battle. He pauses briefly. Arushi was defending her village during a horrible raid. Their men were outnumbered 2-1, completely surrounded, village ablaze. Her lover gave up his horse and battled on foot. They fought back to back as their comrades fell before them one by one. When nearly no one remained, the invaders proposed to spare the survivors if they would join their way of life. Arushi and her lover refused and fought on, showing no mercy. They managed to hold the invaders off for some time. The bodies piled like dunes in the desert as a red river ran through the canyons they created. Completely exhausted and without a second's rest, her lover was dealt a fatal blow through his heart, killed immediately. Arushi watched as he fell to the ground, lifeless. Ashaka clears his throat. She was the only one left. Everything she knew and loved perished that day. Being that she was a woman, she knew they would take her captive and do unspeakable things to her. So in tradition of Jahar, she placed her sword to her neck and took her own life. Wow. Tears rolled down my cheeks. It's tragic, yet beautiful in a way, don't you think? Beautiful. Yes. To never give in when your way of living is being taken from you, even at the price of your own life. It shows how important culture and heritage truly is to people. We will go as far as suicide to protect what's sacred to us. Just then, a draft rolls in behind us. Ashaka stands to look. Hanji, you've returned, Ashaka shouts. What was the name of Arushi's people again? I've told you countless times. I know. Aren't you more interested in if I found his group or not? Just good timing is all. I hear a few sets of footsteps behind me now. They were called Rajput.